Well, we're back for our second segment here. Thank you again all for being with us. The next question we have is what are the types of flowers? Karen, let's start with you. What are the types of flowers that people can plant in order to attract butterflies or hummingbirds, things like that?
First, I would say the sage family of plants. There's so many different varieties to choose from now. There are dozens of different types. The penstemons, coreopsis, Shasta daisies. If all of these are new names to folks that are starting out with gardening, if you were to go to one of our local nurseries, especially Johnson's Lumber and over in Home Depot now, they're starting to concentrate little parts of the nursery just for these pollinator gardens. And what's so wonderful about those, besides their attraction to the butterflies, hummingbirds, and the bees, is they're easy to take care of. They don't take an awful lot of water once they get started. And they just bloom all the time. So it's fun, you can make bouquets with them. And I call them like little garden bouquets. You don't have to have a particular eye for an arrangement with them. And that other website I mentioned, plantmaster.com, will give great ideas on what plants to choose.
Outstanding, thank you. Our next question, what are some of the best water features that people can add to the yard? Karen, we'll start with you and then jump over to Ryan and to Greg.
My advice always to folks is to try and have a water feature that's got a little vertical spit to it. And why do I say that? Because the birds love it. And as soon as you put it up, you'll see the hummers and the robins and the bluebirds, and they all come around in a little pecking order. A really easy and beautiful fountain are these a pot fountain. So just the glazed pots, they come all colors and sizes. They have a little recirculating basin and a small pump at the bottom. Inexpensive, anywhere from $500 to $1,500, depending on the size you want. And with a click of a switch, just have a recirculating pump. So that might be a nice, simple weekend warrior fountain to put in.
That sounds good. Ryan, what are some of the water features you've seen and what do you recommend?
I agree with Karen. Water features can add a great little accent to a backyard, be aesthetically pleasing or just nice background noise when you're sitting out on your patio. I'll play a little bit of a devil's advocate though, that if you are going to install some type of water feature in the backyard, be prepared to maintain it. Weather can play a big factor on algae levels. You know, the hotter the weather gets, the algae will produce. And so you have to do a little bit of research to keep those levels, pH, you know, pretty much neutral. And the hotter the weather gets, the more often you want to check it. But again, as long as you stay on top of it, a water feature is a great accent to any backyard landscape.
Thanks, Ryan. Greg, how about you? What are some of the features you've seen and what do you recommend for the weekend warrior?
Well, one of the things I would say again are think about what your needs are and what your capabilities are, especially for the weekend warrior. Building a water feature from scratch using all of the different parts of waterproofing, liners, boulders, pumps, filters is not easy. So research it heavily. If you're looking again for the weekend warrior type, then look at a precast fountain. So that's something that's already built. You buy it, it comes in from 1 to 3 pieces, and you set it up fairly quickly. And that would be the lowest maintenance type of water feature that's available.
And Greg, do you see that homeowners are interested in these types of water features? I mean, is this something that's a popular feature for a backyard?
It's very popular. Ryan mentioned not only the aesthetics, but the noise. It does help kill conversation. So people are living in smaller yards. So sometimes they don't want to hear the conversations going on next door, and they don't want their conversations getting out. And the water feature is a good way to stop that.
Outstanding. Greg, let's stay with you. What are some of the best ways for someone to keep their lawn looking green and healthy?
Well, fertilizing plant material, not only lawn, I try to explain it to people. Think about yourself, the body. Don't wait until you're starving to eat, or else you probably will overeat and you also won't be healthy. So if you can figure out a way to fertilize your lawn and plants consistently on a 6 to 8 or 10 week schedule, it depends on type of the fertilizer you're using, then try to do it before the grass is not green. If you do it before the grass is not green, it'll almost always be green.
Excellent, thank you. Ryan, what are your recommendations for that?
Obviously, good fertilization practices. We use a slow release fertilizer, which lasts about 8 to 12 weeks on our lawns. Good mowing practices, directional mowing, changing your directions, 3 different times on a weekly basis. Irrigation, again, you don't want to overwater. Watering the lawn, there's water restrictions these days, but watering 3 days a week, you should be able to keep a healthy lawn.
Outstanding.
And aeration. If you can aerate once in the spring or once in the fall, that as well helps air uptake through the soil, allows the roots to go down deeper. The deeper the roots are in the soil, the healthier the lawn will be.
Outstanding, thank you. That ends our segment here for number 2. We'll be right back here in just a few minutes. Thank you.